Hello, everyone, and welcome to Friday Message. In place of a prayer for this Friday message, I am going to read a sonnet. Someone who is a regular viewer of these Friday messages was kind enough to send me this wonderful book. It's entitled Sounding the Seasons, 70 Sonnets for the Christian Year, and it's written by Malcolm Guite. And I just received this, and I want to share a sonnet that is entitled The Call of the Disciples. And this sonnet speaks about the disciples being aboard a ship. And the inside of the church here looks like the bottom of a ship. And I have always loved that about this church and our being a pilgrim people gathered together on this vessel, following Christ, who is the wind in our sails and the light that guides us. And so, this sonnet is entitled The Call of the Disciples. He calls us all to step aboard his ship, take the adventure on this morning's wing, raise sail with him, launch out into the deep. Whatever storms or floods are threatening, if faith gives way to doubt or love to fear, then as on Galilee we'll rouse the Lord, for he is always with us and will hear, and make our peace with his creative word, who made us, loved us, formed us, and has set us all, his beloved lovers, in the ark. Borne upwards by his Spirit, we will float above the rising waves, the falling dark, as fellow pilgrims, driven toward that haven where all will be redeemed, fulfilled, forgiven. The Call of the Disciples by Malcolm Guite. Thank you for that. For my reflection this Friday, I want to talk a little bit about something that's been going on with me. I found myself these past weeks, or maybe even for a couple of months or more, to be feeling a little anxious in prayer. When I have my prayer time, just feeling anxious with the amount of suffering that there is in our world and the number of needs that there are that I feel placed on my mind and heart. We see what's happening in the world around us in Afghanistan with that tragic situation, the earthquake in Haiti and the suffering that's going on there, everything that's happening with COVID and so many people being sick, and healthcare workers valiantly serving on the front lines, and our hospitals being strained by that. I think about children and teachers in our schools, and keeping them safe and well. We look around our country, there's fires in the western states, floods in the eastern states, and then there are all the people that I know that are struggling and that I want to pray for. People that are having health concerns or family struggles here in the parish, or friends, people who've been asking for prayers. It has been feeling overwhelming, to be quite honest with you. To be compassionate, to have empathy, to feel that pain that's going on, and yet trying to stay centered and focused in prayer. So I was asking God about that. I was asking God about this feeling overwhelmed and anxious by everything that's going on, and not wanting to get get paralyzed by the overwhelming needs, or just sort of throw up one's hands and say, well, what can I do? There's just more than I can handle. And then I was reading a blog, a pastor that I really like. Her name is Nadia Bolz-Weber. And she wrote a blog, and she was having the same kind of experience in her life and in her prayer, just feeling anxious and overwhelmed. And she compared it to an electrical panel in an old apartment that she had when she was younger. She lived in one of these old apartment buildings, and if you plugged the hair dryer in while something else was running, it would blow the fuse, and you'd have to go and go into the electrical panel and flip the switch and all that. And she was saying that she was having that kind of feeling, like there was just too much, too many needs, too many concerns, that she was feeling like overloaded by all that, the way an electrical panel gets overloaded and just pops. And she was saying that she had come to the conclusion that you can't focus on everything. You can't focus on everything, but what you can do is you can focus on something. You can focus on something and lift it up and pray and act on it. And so I was reflecting on that. Instead of trying to pray for everything and respond to everything, to pick one thing, or to pick a couple of things, and to make that thing mine, to make it yours, to ask God to hold that concern in God's loving care, and to ask for God's guidance in how to reach out and respond, and to do what we might be able to do for that particular thing. Not to become overwhelmed by the number of things, but to choose something and to focus on that and to lift it up, to offer it to God, to hang on to that in our hearts, and to pray for that, and then to do what we can to help and to respond. So I just commend that to you this week. Just 2 announcements this week. We're still having our Zoom social at 11:45 each Sunday. You can find that by clicking on the link in the Friday brief. And part 6 of our Christian Education Forum on Embracing Evangelism happens this Wednesday at 6 o'clock. We'll be both in the hall and also on Zoom for our final session of our series on Embracing Evangelism. Be safe and well, and God bless you.